Good afternoon, folks. This is Robert Chappell, Executive Editor of Madison365, with your daily update for Wednesday, February 3rd. It'll be kind of a short update today, so hope you stick with me for a few minutes here. The COVID news today is more or less good all the way around in terms of the numbers that we see. A couple of things I'll note. We did have slightly more testing today, still not enough. 5,900 coronavirus tests reported today, processed in the past few days, but just reported today. 1,177 of those are positive, so about 1 out of 5 were positive. The 7-day average of new cases has fallen further down to 1,270, so that's good. The 7-day positive test rates, both for all people and for all tests, went up just a tiny bit, like nothing that's going to cause me any concern. The percentage of all people tested in the past 7 days who tested positive went up from 19.7 to 19.9. So that's basically been hovering between 19 and 20 for the past week and a half. So I'm not terribly concerned about that. The positive rate of all tests went from 5.1% to 5.2%. So really not an appreciable increase there. Again, I want to see those numbers continue to go down, but to have both of those indicators basically stay steady for the past several days is not bad news. Okay. That 5.2 number, the percentage of all tests coming back positive, we need that to be around 3, right? So we're still not there yet, but we're getting there. And hopefully we'll continue to get there as we get more vaccinations. And as we continue to do what we're supposed to do in terms of distancing and masking and that kind of thing. Speaking of vaccines, 117,367 people in Wisconsin have completed their both doses of vaccine. That's about 8,600 since yesterday. So again, that number, it was about 5,000 each day for a while. Then it was up to 7,000. Now it's 8,650 per, just over the past 1 day. So that's good that daily number of new vaccinations is going up. In total, if 613,247 doses have been given, which is about 44,000 since yesterday. So again, 44,000, actually a little more than that, 44,400 vaccinations have been administered since yesterday. And out of those, 8,650 were the second shot, right? So that means about 30, a little under 36,000 people just yesterday got their first shot, and then about 8,650 got their second shot just in the past 24 hours. Okay, so that's that's good. That fact that we're not only getting a lot of vaccines done, we're getting more done each day, and like the number of vaccines that are being administered each day is going up. Now, what we don't know is how many of those vaccines have been administered to Black and brown people in comparison to their share of the population. We know that in several other states, Black and brown people have been disproportionately not vaccinated. Most of the vaccines are going to white people for a number of reasons. Mistrust, lack of information, just lack of where do I go to get it kind of thing. Lack of access, inability to take days off of work to go get it, that kind of thing. But we don't know in Wisconsin because that data is not being reported. We do know that Dane County is going to start reporting that data next week, and the state shortly thereafter. They haven't given us a time or a specific date when they're going to try to start reporting that, but they have told us they're going to start reporting that, and that'll be important to know. so we can hold people accountable if it's not happening the way it needs to. Let's see, what else we got? Deaths today, only 14. Now, you say only 14, that's still, still 14 lives, right? The death toll is now 5,951. It'll be 6,000 in the next couple of days. I mean, it's already 6,000 now, right? But we just don't have them all reported yet. But we will have 6,000 confirmed, probably by the end of the week, I would imagine. But again, that 14 that reported today is lower than it has been in recent weeks. Right? Our average per day of reported deaths has gone from just over 30 a week ago. Now it's down to 23.4. So that's, still a lot. 23 people per day dying of this is still a lot. But again, it's another number that is still too high, but it is going in the right direction. So if we follow all these trend lines the way they're going, within a couple weeks, we'll be below 3%. Within a couple weeks, we'll be 15 deaths per day. A couple weeks after that, at some point, eventually, we'll get down to 0 deaths per day. We got to be patient. We got to keep being vigilant. We have to keep working, and we have to keep getting people vaccinated to get there. Right? Speaking of vigilance, one thing I'll mention on the state news side, you'll remember last week, the Senate, the Wisconsin State Senate, passed a resolution invalidating the health emergency declaration under which we currently are living. Right? Governor Evers has repeatedly just declared and extended a health emergency, which is we're in a state of emergency, right? And that has allowed him to do things like require masks indoors. The state Senate last week voted to invalidate that emergency declaration. The Assembly was going to do also last week, Thursday, and then suddenly realized, thanks to reporting from the Journal Sentinel in Milwaukee, that if they did so, the state would lose $49 million in federal funding, because there's specific federal funding set aside for states that are currently in a state of emergency. If we're no longer in a state of emergency, we can no longer get that money. Well, now the Assembly has figured a way, they think. I don't know the legality of it. It doesn't seem like it would hold up to a court challenge, but I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. But it seems as if they have figured out a way that they think to invalidate the mask mandate, but leave the emergency order intact. And they are passing that. It sounds like they're going to pass that today if they haven't already. And then that'll go back to the Senate, where it will have to be approved there. We'll see if it holds up, or if the governor's office challenges it, or anything like that. We'll see. It's interesting that the legislature went, basically did nothing for 7 or 8 months, and now everything that they're doing, that they're actually active and meeting and having legislation happen, is actually not to combat the virus, but to kind of help it out, or to just to undermine the public health measures that are actually being undertaken. That is all on the coronavirus front. I just have a couple of small things to mention on the other side of the break, so stay with us. Got a little bit more news for you right after this. Don't scroll away. All right, just a couple other things. Story this morning at Madison365.org. This is Langston Evans. He is the Madison Metropolitan School District AVID coordinator, which is Achievement via Individual Determination. It's AVID, right? He has been honored with the College Station's 2021 College Access Champion Award. Dave Dahmer, our editor-in-chief, spoke with Derek Johnson, who is the founder of the College Station. College Station provides underserved students and families with the knowledge and access to information and resources needed to navigate the college search, admissions, and financial aid process. For several years now, the organization has been recognizing local leaders who dedicate their lives to helping kids get to college. Right? That's their core mission. And as the AVID coordinator, that's one of the things Mr. Evans here has to do. And so he was honored earlier this month with the Martin Luther King Award from the College Station. Also today, this is my wife Stephanie saw this news come across last night and was very sad about it. Dr. Joan Prince. Dr. Joan Prince is the Vice Chancellor of Global Inclusion and Engagement at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. She was on one of our Black Power lists. She's regularly been a part of our Wisconsin Leadership Summit. She has great ideas about the panels and stuff for that. She's been a wonderful panelist and a moderator with our Leadership Summit, and just a real good resource, for us. And she has announced her retirement after 20 years in this job. She's been Vice Chancellor at UW-Milwaukee for 20 years. She was nominated back in 2012 as an alternate representative to the 67th General Assembly of the United Nations by President Barack Obama. And she was the first African-American recipient of a bachelor's degree in medical technology and a master's degree in clinical lab services from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. So her connection to UW-Milwaukee goes back all the way to her days as an undergraduate. So we hope she continues to stay in touch and work with us, but we wish her the very best and congratulations on her retirement. So I mentioned it would be a pretty brief update today. We have lots more news coming tomorrow. As soon as I hop off here, I have an interview to do on the phone, which will be a good story that you'll see tomorrow. And we'll have a couple of things cooking in the for news later tonight and tomorrow. So keep an eye on Madison365.org. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Get the whole package. And just keep an eye on Madison365.org for all your news. Have a wonderful evening. And take good care of yourself. And we'll see you tomorrow.
This is 365 Media.